Saturday morning here in Banff, Jasper Avenue, and we're here for the TSN All-Star Curling Skins Game. We start our Saturday at the Skins Game with maybe the most intriguing matchup of all. After a successful spell that included a Scotty second place, Carrie Einarson left her squad and she put together a team full of skips. Meanwhile, Tracy Fleury slotted into that spot left by Einarson, and last weekend Team Fleury beat their old skip in the Manitoba Scotties final. So today these teams clash in a battle of big money, and it all takes place here in Banff. The TSN All-Star Curling Skins Game next. It's so nice to be back here in Banff. Fifth time that Banff has hosted the TSN All-Star Curling Skins Game, and all of it here at the Fenlands Banff Recreation Center. Wonderful facility, and we get things underway with the Monday night team. They are the Flag Bears, and we welcome them. They are from the Banff Curling Club, this four-sheet club here in Banff. As on this Saturday morning, we say hello, Canada, and welcome back to our second day here in Banff. Cheryl Russ alongside. Got it underway last night with the opening men's semifinal. Terrific shot making with Brendan Botcher taking out the two-time defending champion Brad Gushu, winning $11,500. So today we turn our attention to the women's play, and these four teams will also play for $100,000 in total prize money tonight, 7 Eastern Time. Jennifer Jones, reigning Canadian champion, two-time defending skins champion, will play Casey Scheidegger out of Lethbridge. But now it is Carrie Einarson against Tracy Fleury. And it's time to meet our teams now. We'll start with the team from East St. Paul, Manitoba. Team Fleury, led by Kristen McCush. Liz Fife at second. Selena Negevin is your third, and Tracy Fleury is your skip. And Russ, they are all skins rookies, and you immediately wonder, under this format, if it presents a problem.
I don't see any problem here at all. All four are veterans. They played in the Scott Tournament, done so well in the Scotties in different teams, so they'll be ready for this thing. But what I like about this team is Fleury herself. She loves to draw. She loves rocks and play. Case in point, down 5-1 to Einarson a week or so ago for the Manitoba final. Didn't have a problem with rocks and play there. She can draw.
Now it's time to meet Team Einarson. And they hail from Gimli, Manitoba, with lead Brianne Mayer. Shannon Burchard at second, Val Sweeting at third, and the skip Carrie Einarson. Listen, no doubt they're disappointed by what happened last weekend, but still a very successful year.
Oh, they've had a fabulous year, and there was some question putting four skips together, but great season, 4 big wins, and they'll bounce back from that crushing loss because of their season. They've put themselves into that wild card game. They know they have another chance to get into that Scotties. And even though Fleury's had their number this season, they have the opportunity to turn that around with a big money game today.
The big money game is worth $21,000 when we come back to Banff on this Saturday morning. Angle it back, tap, 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 and away they go!
Pistol.
Val Sweeting calling it off. Now called off. What do you got here? Roll it in. Little bit more, little bit more. Oh, goodness.
You kidding.
What a shot.
Lovely touch. What a shot. Tracy Fleury. Tip your cap to the front end.
TSN All-Star Curling Skins Game is brought to you by Everest Funeral Concierge, by Kubota Canada, quality built, precision made, and by Meridian Manufacturing, your partners for on-farm industrial and oil field storage and handling. TSN All-Star Curling Skins Game is brought to you by the Rimrock Resort Hotel, above the rest, by Banff and Lake Louise Tourism, inspiring the world to experience unforgettable moments in Banff and Lake Louise, and by Revel Events, catering and events made easy.
Well, it's time to meet the teams now. It's brought to you by Everest Funeral Concierge. We'll start with Team Fleury from the East St. Paul Curling Club. It's part of the greater Manitoba, Winnipeg, Manitoba area. Skipped by Tracy Fleury with Kristen McCush, Liz Fife, and Selena Negevin. The Einarson team from the Gimli Curling Club, skipped by 31-year-old Carrie Einarson with Brianne Mayer, Shannon Burchard, and Val Sweeting. Prior to the event, they had the draw for the button for a bonus of $1,000. That was won by Jen Jones. And according to the ranking, Carrie Einarson finished third, Fleury fourth. And so Einarson has elected to take Last Rock. Fleury has elected to take the Blue Stones. And so as we get it underway here with Kristen McCush, it will be Einarson playing the Yellow Rocks that has the hammer. She has that Last Rock. She'll need to score 2 for the opening skin, and it's worth $1,000.
Great.
Talked to Hans.
Talked
to Hans Woodford this morning, and he's really happy with what happened last night with the ice. They had to kind of guess on how much to nip off and get the amount of curl they wanted. Now they know exactly what the Rocks are doing, so they're going to be a little more aggressive with taking a little bit of pebble off, and they're going to get a wee bit more curl here.
Well, we saw today, just when we were prior to our opening, seeing about 4.5 to 5 feet.
Yeah, exactly, which is just ideal.
Mine's really good. Curling now. It's good. Light. Hard then. Yep, get it over. Hard. Curl bit.
You want to get this tight. You don't want any long corner guards because they're harder to run in. So trying to get this at least to a 3.
If you're not familiar with the skins game, we play 5 rock rule, 8 ends, 30 minutes thinking time, 1 60-second timeout. You win a skin, Einarson has to score at least 2. A steal would give the skin to Fleury. Score 1, we'd take that money and carry it over. If we should get to the end, as we nearly did last night before a brilliant shot by Brad Gouju, we could have had a draw to the button for that final skin of $6,500. That's the skins game, and we love it. I know many of the fans do. Certainly it was a big part, an exciting part of the Continental Cup a couple of weeks ago in Las Vegas.
Was that one, Trace? 14-5.
Yeah, there's nothing like it really, Cheryl. It's all-out offense, both teams, but you have to, somewhere through the end, go, oh, whoops, wait a minute. We might have to bail here, and it's when you do that is the key.
Yeah, a lot of teams will discuss after the front end players, the lead and second have thrown, okay, let's take a look at the house. Are we in good shape, or do we have to open it up and move on to the next end?
Line straight, curling now.
Trying to come down.
Yep. Top 4 still. Line good, line good. Wait only. Wait only. We're past it. 14-2. Even if you're here, it's not bad. Yep. That's okay. Good. That's good.
Let's talk keys to the game, and we'll start with Team Fleury.
Well, leave room for the draw, and what I mean by that is Tracy is legendary. Her draw weight's just impeccable, but you need a path to get there. With skins, that's difficult to do. There's already corner guard blocking off the out-turn draw, so you have to be careful to leave yourself some room. And communication, it's so new for all 8 of these players, really. It's a single sheet. Television lights are bright. Everybody's watching you. The crowd's in closer. It's a lot more intimate. You really have to stay focused and keep talking out there.
Not curling at all. Kristen, if you can, but you can't. Yep, reach to it. Your line's good. Yep. Hard. Atta girl. Nice shot.
And now to the keys to the game for Carrie Einarson.
Well, I think one of the big things for this team, with the 3 of the 4 players lacking in skins experience, Val Sweeting has had much of it. She's played in all 3 previous skins. She's won a total of $77,000. So listen to her guidance out there. And then the force effect. When you don't have the hammer, play for the force. Steals are tough, and they're not without risk. So the force is always there.
Ah, sweet talk. Keys to the game are brought to you by Kubota. Quality built, precision made.
Whoa. Yeah, we good. Yeah.
Coming through by 1, by 2. Angle it back and move them around. And Einarson will leave herself as the shot rock at the moment. Remembering now that's just the carryover point. She'll need 2 to pick up this opening skin of $1,000.
I love the weight she threw at this. Didn't overthrow it.
Almost rolled the thrown rock in behind the corner, too.
When you're not throwing weight, Russ, you don't need to get rid of everything. The Fleury stones behind there are only helping Einarson's team.
quite where they wanted, but very usable. And you heard them say top 12 right out of the thrower's hand, and that's where it ended up.
So we're playing for $1,000 first and second ends, and then we'll just add a little bit more till we play for the big money towards the end. Look at that, 7, 8 is $6,500 total, $21,000. Val Sweeting, Mayer. And just angle it back and angle it up, and they will, for the moment, sit the 2 for the Skin.
That's how important it is to guess at the right speed if you're the brusher. They yelled back 4, and that was more like T-line. Just that couple feet lighter, away that thing went. Looked good for the race here, Cheryl, and then it just made that right-hand turn.
You don't see as much inside-out play in Skins, so it's always a little bit of guess, too, where he put in the broom. Everything seems to just always be to the forefoot.
So Peel, wait here. You can jump across and be buried here.
Yep. Whoa. 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 No. Yep. No. Yep. Yep.
Come on, kick it, kick it, kick it, kick it, kick it, and moves it far enough. And there's your steal point for the moment if you're thinking Fleury.
Nice shot. Okay, good shot.
Great extension on the Peel weight there to give it a little more power.
Still got a pretty good piece of it, option to roll to the right. You can't get in behind the 2 center guards, so you can roll hard to the right.
Watch the weight,
A little heavier than the one Shannon's are here. They got to be careful.
Whoa. No. Whoa. No roll. Okay. That's okay. That's all right. 10-5.
Did you ever play with a lefty?
No, I
Like Val
haven't.
Sweeting?
No, I didn't. No.
You just had good shape. That's nice. Pardon me?
But she said, Carrie said that was really the big adjustment for her when they were putting these skips together. This fact that she does have a lefty, just because it comes at you a little differently and learning the release.
Well, your tendency, if you play with right-handed players, is you know that the out-turns run a little straighter, the in-turns curl a little more, and you have to always remember it's the opposite.
We're just fully. Maybe.
Full 8 is what they're saying on this draw by Selena Nigovan.
All right. Okay. Good seat.
Former
14-9.
Selena Katz, congratulations belatedly on her
That's good. That's close to center.
marriage to
Yeah.
Connor.
14-9.
Or
If you
hack.
want to stay there, we might have to throw hack.
Okay. Yeah, it might grab a little bit. Our draws were very gradual here, though. Got it.
Hack weight will allow them to try and sit as much right in that spot so that they can block off that draw path. Any come around, the force will be to the out turn.
Standing hard.
Here's your left-handed theory here, isn't it? You know, this is Val's out turn. That's going to run a little straighter.
Hole right through.
Okay, that's fine.
Wow.
10-5.
10-5?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 10-5, they'd ask for hack. So hack could be closer to 11.5. That's 10.5, almost a second difference.
Yeah.
Had more speed
Sorry,
there
I
than
thought
it
it'd be a
was
little
release, wasn't it?
That's
It's hard not to do first end. Your tendency is to always, and it's a smart thing, is to overthrow a little bit first end because the ice grabs, paths are new, but I think that path had been worn down enough already.
Might curl a little bit here since it's not doing anything yet.
You make this hit
Okay,
and
so you got
roll
it.
behind that pile, and it's going to be tough to remove.
That's good.
No, it's a little.
Yeah?
Whoa.
That's close.
No.
Weight's nice. Nothing?
It's great. Okay.
Nice weight,
That's
Trace.
fine.
Just right there. Yeah.
Well, if you can get that little roll in behind and maybe guarantee itself at least a carryover.
That's fine. Great weight.
Just so
Little
straight.
quiet or 10-3? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to sit right there and give a world-class player like Tracy Fleury a second crack at that exact same spot. Just roll somewhere here.
Might have to do like a tap.
Yeah.
Can I wait? 10?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it.
Out of the Gimli Curling Club, where the
10-5, 10.
Manitoba Championship was last weekend in Gimli, and it turns out Hans Vutrick is also from Gimli. So. Lots of Gimli content here, and what a great shot that is. Actually rolled a little bit further than they indicated there, Russ. They thought maybe we'll hang it on the edge, but they actually took it underneath.
Really nice shot.
That is so much her strength. I mean, she can draw for sure, but when you look at her hitting ability, she's a laser as far as hits go. She makes the rolls, and I think it's a lot her weight. She's got great technical, but she never overthrows. She throws the right weight for the shot.
Beautiful shot. Can you get to the nose of this blue tap back? I don't think you can.
Nice here. Yeah.
Just tucked enough, is it?
Yeah. So where are you going to raise this, Cheryl? Can you tap it beside the yellow?
Just a little less, Lena.
You might be able to, tap it beside, even if you rub a little bit of that yellow.
Yeah.
That wouldn't hurt either. And hit everything you can see, but don't crash on the guard.
Just get it in there for a second shot, even force Einarson to a tough one.
Boy, they're giving it a good go here. Fight McCush.
Oh, it's going.
And this is going to be dead in the water as it crashes in front. And one, and have a look around the edge.
Yeah.
And that's enough. That'll give them the opening skin. Einarson with a lovely hit and roll to the center line. And the first $1,000 goes to Gimli's Carrie Einarson. Straight down Jasper Avenue here in Banff. Some 4 million visitors every year to the park and to Banff Avenue in Jasper, just up the road, of course, off the highway. Lots of snow in the last couple of days. And many visitors this weekend for the TSN All-Star Curling Skins game as the opening $1,000 goes to Carrie Einarson. So now here in 2, it'll be Tracy Fleury that has the last rock. She has the hammer playing the blue stone. She'll need the 2 then to pick up the skin of, again, $1,000.
This is always a tough game, I think, to play after both these teams. It's unique that they both just came off the Manitoba provincial final, one with a win, one with a loss. But it's always that mental, you're coming off a win, so do you have a lot of letdown because you just gave everything you had for that game, or you're coming off a loss and you're disappointed. It's always the provincial finals after that game. Your next event is always a tough one to play and to try to get up for.
You never forget the team that beat you in a big game, do you?
No.
There's kind of a grudge there, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Carrie's had the Einarson team, or Carrie herself has had the experience last year of going through the wild card and then they got right to the final.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm sure they're having those discussions.
2.5. Line's good. That's it.
Yeah, what a luxury, isn't it, to have that second chance?
Weight's good. You're going to have to finish it. Here it goes now a little.
But they've earned it, right? They've had such a great year.
Yeah, and really Fleury's year has been pretty up and down, pretty average, and they would, I think, completely agree. It hasn't been stellar, but sometimes that's the way you see it. The teams that have had the average year, they come on strong by the time provincials comes around. The other teams, maybe you're expecting too much, you go into it, you're expecting that win, and you're not working quite as hard. That you see it a lot.
Yes.
Sliding a bit.
Line's great. Curling now.
Come down.
Close.
Pretty close, 3. All you. Line's great.
Really curling.
Yep. It's going to over curl again.
Okay, that's good. Let it grow.
Nice, Grant.
So they met in the Manitoba final last weekend in Gimli. And this is the line score. And look at that. You pop a 5 in the second, Carrie Einarson. You end up losing it 13-7. So look at the second half. Actually, yeah, second half from 5 on. And you were saying, my argument in the car coming over was, boy, can't you play defensively? And Russ, you said, you know what? She actually played a skins game because there were so many rocks in play, and then Einarson couldn't respond.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really that's the beautiful part about the 5 rock rollers. You when do you go to that offense? When do you stick to the defense? It's hard when there's 2 guards out there to keep it clean. Chap off here.
And a little rub. Look at this spin. Now going to find some cover. Not quite. Sits out in the open. So what does it all mean with regards to the upcoming Scotties? Well, we know now that Carrie Einarson, these are the points you build up throughout the season. And Rachel Homan has had an outstanding year. So she's number 1. So Carrie Einarson, like she did a year ago, will be one of the wild card teams. Rachel Homan, we already know, was guaranteed one of the wild card spots by virtue of missing the Scotties as our Olympic representative. But Rachel Homan is in the Ontario final. If Homan should win, then you slide down. We know Jones is there as the defending champion. We know Carey was there as the Alberta champion. Suddenly, Miss Scheidegger, if Homan wins, would be there as the second wild card team, and you would have Einarson against Scheidegger. If Homan should lose, she gets a wild card spot out of Ontario. It would be Einarson and Homan on the Friday night in Sydney.
Well, you know Scheidegger would love that more than anything. They had such a disappointing provincial, losing the A, B, and the C games, which is a heartbreaker for any team.
And Homan, as mentioned, is in the final of Ontario. And they are playing that final 7 p.m. Eastern Time this evening.
13-7. Okay.
Not the spot they wanted that one.
You guys think it'll be out here 14.5?
If you're here in practice, yeah.
14-2?
14-2. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we talked about it in yesterday's game. It's that, and you do it in the traditional game, but it's that mental mindset that you're not really making shots for the first kind of 4-6 shots of the game. It's more set up. You don't have to be perfect on them, but just don't be deep. Nobody can use them. They can't be brought back.
This isn't light either.
Back 4. T, back 4. We'll
Back 8. We're almost
T,
to that
I think
one.
we're T.
We'll back 4 is fine.
Good.
Okay, good call now.
And back they go.
Yours is that back. Yeah,
Oh,
heavy.
good chance.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that much. We were kind of guessing on speed.
Full 4.
Okay, you got it.
A little more advantageous for the team that's not with Hammer, in this case Einarson, to be a little deep, because you've now shrunk the scoring area. It's hard to hit that yellow one, so Team Fleury's going to come down here. There's not a lot of real estate left to get that too.
Not curling yet. Top 4. It's not curling. Top 4. Full 4.
Pretty quick spot here. That's where Brad Gushu missed in the second end last night.
Needs to finish.
Biting button.
Kristen. Needs to finish.
Biting button.
It's not curling.
T-line.
Good, Liz. Okay. 14-3.
Well, they'll just bite the pinhole. So looking for their 2, of course, to win the skin. Fleury sitting the 1.
Okay. That'll be like a 14-2, 14. Okay.
Couple rocks a little deep this end, but other than that, both teams have been really impressive at reading the ice, Cheryl, because they practiced their half-hour practice was with a lot straighter stones that they're using right now, so they're making really good adjustments with the ice.
This is where we did see some good curl in the game last night, is once you got to this line here, that's where you get some good finish. Look at that.
And very nice to get across the nose. How good was that? Just enough to push it by to avoid the jam.
Is that better?
Perfect weight.
Duty, Val.
It's a strange sensation being out here with a single sheet and the fans are 2 feet away from you, talking to you as you play.
Really nice here.
And you talked to us about that adjustment to the ice that they've made. That was, I think, the advantage that Botcher's team had last night. It was a tremendous shot that Gushu made in the 8th but that was his best of the game. Up until that, they had won some money, but they hadn't done it in dramatic style. So it was Botcher's adjustment to ice and stones early that really carried him.
Yeah, no question.
Good, Selena.
That works. It opens things up. Yeah, I think with Darren Moldy, we touched on a little bit being an ice maker. I think that's a real plus for that team.
Or do you like a 10.5?
Yeah, whatever we know.
Back now.
They're really close together. So.
So a lot more weight at it this time.
Lead's good. 10. 9-5.
And the problem is the curl isn't really till you get close to that line, and you're not throwing near it when you're throwing that kind of weight and out so much further. It's just hanging.
Really, really hard. Go, go.
Well, again, she managed to slip it by. Little tick. They are sitting 2, needing 1 for the steal. Could have really jammed it on that stone just back edge of the button, but managed to deflect and then split to the T line, 8 foot.
Line's good. Just touch close. Tight. Yeah, it'll go. Or short. It's just tight. It'll go. It's just tight. Well, leave it.
Might be better to stop brushing this because it's not going to get into the 8 foot where they want it. You don't want to hook those guards.
Yeah, they kind of got caught in the middle. Russ, even if you brush it a little more and try and tick off one of the two.
14. Everything will be good.
Yeah. Let's make this right. Top 4, top button.
Okay.
They know this spot. They've seen it twice.
Okay.
And the guards are staggered in their favor, too, for this come around. The high one's a little bit more to the right. You get around that one, you've got some room.
Now Sweeting with the brush down right in the middle of the 12. So a good idea of where the curl is now on this second draw. Our second game of the Skins game here in Banff. Boy, look at it swoop now. Bayou, Burchard, top 4. Bury it, take it in. How far? And they'll just drag it to the top edge of the 8th. So we're filling out the field. We talked about the Ontario Women's Final is tonight, so that's one of the finals. Also BC, familiar names. We know Jennifer Jones is the defending champion. Congratulations, Chelsea Carey, a winner again out of Alberta. Tracy Fleury, Andrea Crawford out of New Brunswick. Jill Brothers was the winner in Nova Scotia. It's been a while since we've seen Jill. Carrie Galusha, familiar name. Suzanne Burt is back out of PEI. So some familiar and experienced names in this year's Scotties in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
We talked about Carrie Einarson being one of the best hitters on the planet. I'd say good drawer, not great drawer. This is a great drawer, and this gives it, because that rock was 2 feet light, it gives Fleury an opportunity to sink one here.
Back 4. No. All you lines really lines.
Fife and McCush.
Right here. Just by your 4.
Right here. Right here, and a little deeper than they may have thought, but she'll cover the pin. So that is one of the 2 that she needs to pick up the skin. And finally, as we talk about the Scotties, that first game on February the 15th, 6:30 Eastern Time, will be the wild card game. Carrie Einarson, a year ago, came in as the team dressed in black, and they ran all the way to the final. Who will she play against? Rachel Holman, if Holman loses the Ontario final. Scheidegger, if she wins it.
was a good draw by Fleury, but a little deep, and it gives the opportunity here for Carey. She can sit something down right on top of this, and it's going to be a really tough chance to get a deuce.
Be quick here. There's been a lot of traffic down this end, so this spot will be warmed up a bit. You can't be heavy here.
Well, and I thought Tracy's didn't come down until the last little bit when it curled, like between the hog line and the house is when it started to go, and then it started to come down.
Burchard on the right, trying to help it over a little bit, direct it towards the shot rock. And what a lovely shot. And moves it back, and not quite far enough to be the steal point. So now, how do you get in there if you're Tracy Fleury to get a deuce?
That's exactly what a great shot. It makes it really tough. She might have an
like
in off.
line? Yeah, I think so. Just try to touch it. Okay. I think that's all there
Redirect.
is.
Maybe a soft weight out turn, Cheryl, and maybe run in that way.
Like just almost a redirect.
Yeah. You know, they really, Team Einarson could have, not that was a bad shot by any means, but moved that an inch farther in their shot rock. I know they were playing the freeze, trying to shut down that scoring area, but the line was so good, they could have pounded that hog line in and sat shot rock and maybe pull a steal out of this mess.
I would suspect this will be about probably a back line weight, maybe even a hack, and you just try and rub off. You can see a bit of that yellow on the left.
If you rub off the first yellow, though, you might tap them in for shot rock.
Not a good option.
It's a bit of a guess here for the line, too, isn't it? It should curl pretty hard, I'm guessing.
Tracy Fleury, Ontario champion, Northern Ontario champion, and now will wear the Manitoba Moose, representing a third province. Trying to hold this now, a little redirect, just touch it, come over, and it'll go through in the back. And that one by Fleury will mean we'll carry over for the first time. We'll add $1,500. We'll play for $2,500 when we come back. Well, sometimes you only have that one chance to either score your deuce or hold the opposition, and this is a great shot. Wonderfully judged, Carey Einarson.
Well, it is, and this is skins. You have to come up with these big kind of turnover shots that force the opposition to a tough shot for their deuce, and she did this.
But as Russ mentioned, if they knew that, pounded a little harder, may have been possible to steal the point. Rather, it's a carryover. The key shot is brought to you by Meridian, your partners for on-farm, industrial, and oil field storage and handling. So with that carryover, we will carry on as we go to the third. And it'll be Team Einarson that has last rock. They have the hammer playing the Yellowstones. They'll look to score the two. The skin here in three is worth $2,500. Sometimes you just don't know where the brain is going.
It is early, Vic.
It just has a mind of its own.
It does. Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yep.
Let it loose.
A lot of teams approach the second shot or the first shot for your team in the skins, and a lot of different options. We watched Gushu come around here short every single time. That looks like what Team Einarson's going to do here. Leave it open, don't bury it. That would stagger the guards and would hurt you down the road. Just leave this one usable.
That was a little bit of, and something when we played Kevin Martin, we learned a little bit of that from watching him before we played. Is that was his exact philosophy, is don't go in with hammer first, don't be the first one in. But set up a couple shots, but make sure they're usable, so tight to the rings. You can run them back. You go in too early with hammer and you get shut down and you don't ever get your chance at your skin.
Isn't that's a great, you think about what you could do in any sport. It's a way of disarming your opposition. If in fact you do what they do and maybe do it better. Suddenly Kevin Martin's going, well, why are you doing this? I didn't expect you to do this.
I do this, you don't do this.
Now, how does he respond?
Right.
And he's got to make the adjustment. You're forcing him to play your game rather than you play his.
True, so true. And we watched a lot of his tapes before we played him in skins because we didn't have as much skins experience, and that was one of the things we picked up and used.
Right around everything here, a little bit of a new, fresher path.
I think they're going to go.
What a wonderful final She had Brienne Mayer, a former Canadian junior, Manitoba junior champion.
T-line. Sorry, Brienne.
Again, all skips here when you talk about Mayer and then Burchard, Sweeting, Einarson. Interesting how this team actually came together. It was Einarson and Burchard and Mayer first, and then Val Sweeting you see there just in the foreground. Her team was changing. Again, it happens after that 4-year Olympic cycle. And she was talking with Einarson and said, you know, you're looking.
Lots of line right now.
I'm willing to play third, because Burchard was actually going to play third, and Mayer was second. They were looking for a lead. And Einarson said, well, will you play third for me? And she said, only if the others are willing to move back or move down is second and lead. And they all agreed, and this is how they came together.
No egos on this team. I think it speaks a lot. This, you know, everybody said, wow, they've had such a great start to their season and a great season so far, but they took a lot of time in defining roles this summer. They worked, I know, with Mark Kennedy a little bit. They've really tried to get a jump on what they had to do and how they had to be out in the ice together when you do combine, you know, 4 leaders. Defining the roles is probably the biggest thing they had to work through as a team.
Hard! Hard!
She's got her best on the center line guard as it's coming up quickly. Angle it back and now left it corner frozen just off the corner. Great year, as you mentioned, for Carrie Einarson. Really, they surprised themselves a little bit. Their whole plan was to front-end load. We're going to get out there, we're going to bang brushes and throw rocks at other teams early, and it paid off as they won Oakville, Morris, Manitoba, Winnipeg, Calgary. They lost 4 others. They qualified in 8, so they're 5th on the tour, $87,000 and change.
Who says 4 skips can't work, right, Cheryl?
Well, yes, but they also had to learn how to brush and that.
What is that, brushing?
Yes, I know. Foreign to you, yes.
Line's getting good if you can bury it.
Well, that is, they did go to the gym this summer. They worked on that because they knew that probably would be their weakness as skips, that they'd have to increase their workouts, their fitness, the strategic angle of the broom, even to get that brushing technique right.
Impressive year.
The top ones give us some options.
Okay.
We just,
I think throw a bump.
okay. Was my last one a 10?
I really like this call. Einarson with hammer trying to simplify it for her shots by tapping this blue one out. And if this is made properly, it'd be a couple yellow that can be run in on that back blue one.
Similar weight. Yep. No overlap.
Nice soft weight here.
Whoa.
Weight's great.
Should be able to hang around with this weight.
Might have to go on blue.
And yeah, enough. Isn't it great about this? Is for me the key there. It was the rock positioning. When you go back to that previous stone by Einarson's team, left it on the corner. Now there it is to use, and now look what you've got.
Exactly.
Just keep applying the pressure and with the right weight.
A little less still.
Yep. 2. Yep. Wait 2. 2.5. Hold that line. 2. Your line's good. Halfway. There's a 2. Halfway. Line's 1.5. 1. Yep. Line's good. Just 1. Hard, Liz. Whoa.
Okay. Good speed. Okay, that's good. Okay. That or double open it up. Rip.
Pardon me?
I think open it up. Yeah, double peel's good.
2 choices. You could come around and try to get to that one, but that's all or nothing, isn't it? If Val doesn't make that, the steel's definitely in play for Team Fleury. This makes a lot of sense. And now you can get at the blue one, you can get at the yellow one that are both in the rings.
Yep.
Well, and you heard that come from Val. You know, a little bit of Skin's experience. You get a little bit lulled into Skin that everything has to be to the forefoot. You got to play everything.
But she's left the shooter now center line, and it's really junking up.
Yeah, not the result they wanted.
Yeah, just a little bit. I do that all the time.
more extension on this one, so it's going to track. They're going to run a little straighter, a little longer.
1.5. A little bit. 2. 2. Do you want finish or no? Little finish. Pretty good. Yep. Just 1.5. Yep. Whoa. That's good. Nice shot. Good. Another girl.
So we're coming down there, hey?
Yeah. Good.
I didn't go down that side.
Try and open it up again. Even though that yellow center that you're looking at will still be there, it's long and it's really not a guard. So if you can get these two blues, you open up both sides.
Well, Sweeting.
Blue on the blue.
Other way.
Uh-oh. And then they really just jammed it. And now look at it, covering the edge of the 4.
Close to getting both of them out of there. That doesn't help.
Yeah. Okay. That's all right. Yeah, I like it. You got it, Chase?
Decision pretty easy here, Cheryl, for Tracy Fleury. Protect.
It is. She's got, especially with that blue stone sticking around right there. You just throw another lob, another guard up top there, and it's pretty tough to get in. The out turn's shut down. There's really no port. By the time you get past that right yellow, it's going to overcurl.
Yeah, 4:15. Yeah, I think so.
You can't get through that right side yellows, between those yellows, Russ, and tap up, come across actually, and maybe touch it back against the grain.
I think you can. I wouldn't want to try it, but I think you can. It hooks in there pretty hard.
It instills a lot of confidence.
Yeah,
I don't want to throw it, but
it's virtually impossible. Go ahead, Skipper. No, I think Vic's right. You probably can't tap the blue one out of play, but just to get shot rock, it's definitely there.
Just a 3. That weight's good. 2.5.
This might take it away if they get it deep enough.
I think that's the thought.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Go. Keep going.
Oh, and there you go.
Nice shot, Tracy.
That's the pass.
Yeah,
So you're talking about a Fleury team, and Tracy Fleury was not going to play. The rest of the team, as she said, priorities with her team. Everyone was going to go, family, the mums, and she said really contemplated taking off a couple of years. Then she talked with Liz Fight. They'd known each other, seen each other on tour. Would you? Sure. Okay. They make the 4-year commitment, and here they are. But as you saw there, a so-so season with $47,000, nearly 48, 11 on tour, no wins, and almost close to a 500 record when it comes to wins and losses. But who cares when you win the big one?
Exactly. The season was all for building toward that. I'm sure they would have said that at the beginning. We'll take a Manitoba win over any wins on tour.
And they've had her number this year. When you count last week's final, Fleury is 3-1 coming into the Skins game.
You often see that when you have to play your old team sometimes. When
it's so true.
They know your ins and outs. You know they know you. It's a tough, a little bit tough on the psyche.
What do you got? Angle this back. Going to touch it. Up out. Oh, no.
Actually, a little overbrushed, to be honest.
Oh, she had that. Just get off it a second earlier.
Tough shot.
What a good throw. See if they get off this. Would have curled up a touch more and they would have clipped the back yellow.
We were hitting where we needed to.
So as you look at this, I'm trying to remember, I'm sorry. That yellow stone on the right-hand side, covering the edge of the 4, was that the first stone that they put up? Was that the draw, the first stone of Mayer's?
I believe that was the out-turn corner that came up to a little
Isn't
too
that
light.
funny? Now here it is. That may be the only shot she has left.
And she threw it there so she could maybe use it.
Yeah, ideally you want a little tighter, especially in this situation if she has to play a run. But
even it's a tap up, right?
Yeah.
You just tap it to the be shot wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just know Tracy Fleury will be close on this one. She did a great in-turn draw last end to the pin. Top button would be ideal here. It's definitely going to curl enough.
Top 4. Top button. Line's good. Top 4. Top button. It needs to curl a little bit. Needs to curl.
Weight's really
there
close.
Line's good. Top curling now.
Go. Go. Gotta go. Come on.
We're just fully
Come on.
waiting for it.
Needs to curl in. Go, 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 go.
Come on.
Keep it going. All right.
Good sweep.
Very,
Good.
very
Okay.
nice.
That's good.
What do you see here, Russ?
I think you
The
could.
tap's
but the way
there.
they
What about,
don't- they're
is
not
it too
very
flat, the
lively.
one on the 12-foot on the right-hand side?
How much
Come
do
in
you
on
have?
Yeah, in the rings, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I think you've got a couple raises here. Unless she can squeak by that blue one and hit as much as you can see.
I think it'd be close.
Yeah.
It looks not bad from
Might
over here.
should go over top, eh?
Yeah, it'll go over top for sure.
With peel.
I don't know if you can throw peeled because we need some curl
Yeah.
past the guard.
Like a 9.5. I don't know. We've got to kill it, right? It's not very
Yeah.
lively.
Kind of surprised she isn't
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at that. I know it's long. You see it just
Yeah,
at the top of the
thinking,
screen
yeah,
on the
it's pretty
left, that
flat,
raise
you
on
get
that
shot.
yellow.
But
In that way. Absolutely.
probably not.
That's
Not
more
the
of
way Brianna
Carrie's wheelhouse, isn't it?
Do you think this is makeable?
I don't think so. I think they're too far apart. That run double looks like your best bet right now.
Yeah.
No question.
Oh, that run double?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Because
or
even
off
the
this
draw is
one.
tough.
I think this is probably.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to go with this.
Okay, just hit it flat. And
Yep.
get there.
So you'd have to throw big weight because it is really flat. Try and spring it over and at least get second shot.
Yeah, there might be enough angle here.
Yeah.
This thing has to be flying, though.
Right now, it's a stolen point. Stolen skin. Einarson needs to get in there for shot to force the carryover. $2,500.
Yep.
Now they got her. Birch. Staying with it. Staying with it. Call off now. Got to roll it over. Roll it over. Oh, and it just cracked it too full. And it will be a steal for Fleury, and she'll pick up. Kevin Cooey, $37,000 skin for the win. And Alberta are the Canadian men's curling champions. What do you got, fellas? Oh, you got a pie. Touch it over. Oh, my goodness. Cooey, Cooey, great. Come on. Come on. Come on. Magic Mike to the floor for the win. For the win. And we expect more great shots when we join you again with the second men's semifinal. Kevin Cooey and Reed Carruthers with Mike McEwen. Now they've decided he will throw the fourth stone and skip the team for the duration of the season. So that's when we join you today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time with men's semifinal number 2. The winner to play Brendan Botcher in the men's final tomorrow. We welcome you back to Banff, Alberta, and our second day of the TSN All-Star Curling Skins game. Here in the fourth, we play for another $1,500 skin. Carrie Einarson will once again have the last draw. Playing the Yellowstone, she has the hammer, and so she'll look to score the 2 for the money after that stolen skin of $2,500 by Tracy Fleury. And the game plan is the same. Centerline guard goes up from Fleury to that cornerstone that they had, albeit a little higher and maybe just a little tighter, but they elected not to use and run it back last end.
Yeah, that really surprised me because the easier of the two shots in my mind was definitely that run. You put that rock there, the run double. The front end liked it. They could see it all day long, but Carrie went to the tougher shot for sure.
And she actually executed beautifully, slid as hard as she could, a big extension, lots of rotation, and virtually hit it in the right spot, which is hard to do at that speed. She had to throw that twice as hard to make it.
Nice shot, Kristen. Good. There we go.
So we're curled here.
Comes out the other side just enough. Now you can keep this open a little bit. I like this. You get a chance at this stone in the 4-foot. Try and roll away.
Okay,
Give yourself a little breathing room.
Even if they fracture on that center blue guard, they can roll in behind the corner or at least in the rings and open it right up. And this is narrow in this situation.
Just hard. Hard roll.
Looking at this roll and tuck it in behind their own, and they sure do. It slips behind the tee line, back 8.
Textbook, isn't it? Perfect corner guard, the right distance, a little away from the center line so you leave your skipper a draw, and then roll buried. Really nice.
Top 4. Room right now, guys. Top 4. Starting nice. Line's good. Top 4. Still have lots of room. Lots top 4. Line's pretty good. Okay, line's
Can't help but look at Liz Fife and
just top 4.
see her father, the late Vic Peters, and she said it was quite emotional for her having won in Gimli and remembering back to was it 14?
15.
Trying to think.
Yeah.
Would have been.
Is that in Grand Prairie?
Trying to think. No, 16. Is that far back? That's far back when you were there, of course, and Ashley was playing and Vic Peters was playing.
Right.
And they had the picture of all the skips with their fathers.
Yeah, and all the daughters were on the same All-Star team.
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
And shortly after Vic passed, of course. And, she said it was quite emotional. She was thinking about her father when they accepted the trophy.
What a great guy.
Of course she would be.
Close. We're top 8. Roll around right now. Now line only. Line's getting good. Yep. Whoa. Little bounce. Line only. Whoa, then. T-line. No.
Don't want to bounce.
Top 8 coming down a lot.
Whoa.
No.
Girl.
That's good.
I girl.
What'd you get on that, Carrie? Carrie, what'd you get on that?
Freeze the corner.
Do you have any of this? I have a small piece. Might be the easiest way in there. I like it.
Okay.
Bumper.
Okay.
Okay. You got it.
You look at the Manitoba, and we always know that Manitoba is arguably maybe the best province
10-5. Yeah, you gotta go. 10-5.
for curling talent. She played with Peyton and Laws. You have Brienne Muir playing on the other team. There's a former Canadian junior champ. The pedigree of Manitoba curling is exceptional.
Okay. It's not bad.
No question.
10.
It's good and it's bad, isn't it? You can you've got a big pool to play to choose from when you're choosing a team, but you look up and the other team's just as strong.
Yeah, it strengthens it though.
Just
And you're always hoping somebody from Manitoba's Team Canada, so the next guy down the road gets a chance to get it back into that final.
It really helps you for your points, though. If you play a lot of local spiels and they're all these top teams, you know, Jones and all these top teams are Einarson in the event, then that degree, your numbers go up, right? Your points are that much higher because of the degree of difficulty and the strength of field.
Yeah, their own provincial tour that they have.
Angle it back. Make it go away. And it pushes it out the back. I'll tell you a big difference from yesterday, last night to now. The houses are more lively and there's more action on the stones.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know that it was really the striking bands as much as it was the new retouch on the bottom of the stones, and when they hit, they just didn't have that spring.
Exactly. That's exactly what I think it was too. I agree. Yeah, it's just a great surface and 4 perfect shots. You think what Team Einarson's done here? Perfect corner guard, rolled, buried. It had a rocker aiming at it. It was buried, rolled, buried. Perfect angle freeze, now an angle raise.
Here, this is going to be a fight. Here comes their own center guard. Here it comes.
Oh, and that's the last one you wanted to lose. That's your chance for a steal. Now it's opened up, and Team Einarson's pretty happy about that.
Okay.
Probably
Wait.
about,
I think 14.5 is really close.
yeah,
Wanna be
14.5 to
even
high
with the top one,
14s.
probably.
Try it. You know, Val has to hit paint here, but try to keep it as high as you can. If you bring this back to the tee line, you've set up basically the bowling shot with the head pin up top, and there would be a possible triple.
Top 8.
Coming down. Just wait.
Top 8 soon.
Not curling. Running. Must be hot.
Whoa.
It's running like it's hot.
Okay, we're about T-line.
Whoa. We can take it back. I think we're T on our own. We're back in our own. Back 8.
Oh, it's there. Yeah. Make it thin.
That's good.
Okay, that's fine, Val.
Okay, that works.
13-9.
Okay. Good judge. 13-9. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Gonna hit and roll over to this side.
So
You
head
like?
pin, 7-10 split.
I think it is, Vic, on
so not a double,
the
just
on the
a roll
outturn
then?
side if you choose. Now the
Okay,
problem
so
with
what
it
do
is
you
you
think?
miss it, you're dead.
Okay, let's
So
make
you
it.
might be play the
10.5.
be a little bit more patient here. Maybe just hit and roll on top of that other yellow.
And unlike a bowling lane, you don't have the walls to bounce the pins off of. You know?
No, you do not. I like this call. There's enough time that you can play
10-5,
this.
10.
Just roll about a foot, Cheryl.
Yeah, that's it. Right on top.
10-5. Whoa.
Try and force a mistake out of the other guy.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Look at this.
That's perfect.
Nice shot.
Just a perfect roll. Look at that. You'd love to roll back towards the center line, but if you do that, you jam on your own rocks. So now you have to roll left as we're looking at it, which sets up a yellow double. Really good shot. Boy, it didn't take long for either team to figure the ice out, did it? They were the extra curl with the rocks, I should say.
Weight's good.
It's hard when you throw that half-hour practice and it's completely different.
Whoa. Whoa. It's not doing anything. No. We're not down.
This is running.
No. Little roll. No. Yep. Well, good. Really nice.
Yeah, they'll hang it around, holding the 12, and they are sitting the 3 and well spread out.
Well, just beautiful weight by Val. If you overthrow that at all, you can see how straight it was coming down there, and you're going to roll right out.
No choice now. You have to play the freeze. And the nice thing about this format is you don't care if you give up 4 or 5. You're just going to go all in trying to force them to that single. Well-placed freeze could do that.
Oh, yeah, they said.
Well, and I think you have the right person throwing the freeze.
So almost equal on time used as well. Remember, 30 minutes of thinking time, and then each team has 1 60-second timeout.
Yeah, a little bit for line. To curl. Top 4. Line's good. Line's fine. Line's fine. Top 4. Right to it. Right to it. T-line. T-line.
Interesting there to watch Brianne Mayer and Shannon Bertrand standing right in behind and saying, look it, watch that line. Watch it go.
Just to it.
No. He needs to curl.
A little bounce.
That is the awareness now of all the players and all the teams, Vic.
Great
That's
weight, Trace.
changed from so many years ago where they'd be standing off to the side having a conversation about something else. Now it's everybody has to pay attention to every shot.
I think we've got the catcher on the side. So
Yeah.
we hit half.
That was overbrushed by about 3 inches there. That's locked right on there.
Okay.
Really good throw.
Okay.
What's your preference here? Do you hit it dead on and sit 3? Or do you try to pick it clean?
It looks like there's enough room to play the pit clean.
Even if you lose everything, isn't it?
It's not
a
so
tough,
bad.
tough double.
Yeah, I think considering you're right that the double is really difficult. You could play for the pick, but even if it comes up a little bit and everything's gone, not a big deal.
Yep. Clean. Yep. Yep. Can't hurt it. Yep. Yeah.
Einarson the first.
Whoa. Yes.
And gone.
Nice. Good call, Val.
And had that little catcher on the side as well, so still sitting the 3 and needing 2 for the skin.
That helps, and it forces Tracy Fleury to a completely different freeze.
That saver's huge too, isn't it, Cheryl? You make a pretty good freeze here. Team Einarson can blast everything out of there, still get their 2.
I think it's close. Yeah.
What was the hog? I don't know what the hog's hog was, but
14-4.
Had a little help, Team Einarson, but they played a wonderful end. 7 great stones.
Oh, 3. Okay, Trace, you got it.
more?
A little bit more, yeah. Mine's a little bit tight. T-line, Becky. Yeah, line. Lead's pretty good.
Final stone for Tracy Fleury.
T-line, gotta go. Yes, line. Hard. T-line, good, line, good. Reach close. Reach to it.
Pretty close on weight.
High. High. Go. Yep.
And they did well to hold it, and it is the shot stone.
She just doesn't miss and draws.
That's
She's
unbelievable.
never far off.
Yeah.
Got it.
Just enough separation that this is makeable.
And again, to your point, just make those go away because you have the two on the other side that are your counters.
Yeah, it was huge. As it turns out, it was huge to hang around with that first one, wasn't it, for Carey? This isn't a gimme, though. You know, hit 2/3 of this, it might hang around.
I think it's moving to the wing a little bit.
But I think with peel, we should be able to hold it decent.
Yeah. I think it'll curl up just a little bit like that.
Make it go away and pick up the skin. $1,500, but right out of her hand. They jumped this. Bircher trying to hold the line. Now the carry with Mayer jumping in too. Hold it, make it go away. Squeeze it, and far enough. Wow. A little more difficult than she thought. It just moved far enough for the skin, and midway through, Fleury, Einarson, we're all even. Located just 5 minutes from downtown Banff is Mount Norquay's Tube Park. And during the winter, it's home to 8 lanes of excitement and some legendary views. And on a Friday, Team Fleury took to the hills to experience the adrenaline rush firsthand. The Manitoba Scotties chance went down the slope as a team, and then a final run to see who was fastest.
Who won? That was awesome. Thanks, Norquay.
Alberta's best tube park can be found at Mount Norquay. Yeah, they're still smiling. We're all tied midway through this first women's semifinal. I think with all the skiing and the tubing that winter would be their biggest time here in Banff National Park. No, it's the peak season is July and August. And we have some very special guests from Everest Funeral Concierge, and the gentleman right in the middle his name is Bess Peterson from Kikino, Alberta. Small community of about 600 people, northern Alberta. Bess became one of Canada's top producing agents because he believes the people in small Aboriginal communities around Kikino didn't have access to a service like Everest, and he believes it's a service the community deserves. So have a great weekend with us here in Banff, and congratulations, Bess. So we have split the money so far. Remember, it's $21,000 in total here in the semifinal. You make it through to the final tomorrow, and everything is doubled as we begin here the second half. And in end number 5, it'll be Tracy Fleury that has the last rock. She has the hammer playing the blue stones, and so she'll need to score the 2 for the $2,000.
Shannon's in.
Yep, gotta get to the center.
Hard, get to center.
Keep going.
Hard, Shannon, go. Every inch, go, 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 go. Good
Great,
one, girl.
guys.
Good shot. Really nice.
Now we focus so much because they were trying to had the hammer for 3 of the 4 ends. It'll be interesting to see how Fleury approaches this. If in fact they'll leave it short, as Einarson has been doing, or she'll ask Kristen McCush to come in.
Yeah, it looks like by where Tracy is standing, they're coming right in.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either, but there's more errors this way because you're asking for a deeper rock, and this one looks like it's going too far, which is absolutely unusable here for their chances to get that 2, really.
Unless you start playing the short game and you start throwing from the
That's
other
right.
end. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're looking pretty good.
That would work.
Well, that thing could still go on the scoreboard, but if you asked Carey, should be pretty happy with that stop. They're just going to loop around in their own guard here and try to apply some pressure. A lot of the men's teams do 2 center guards here, Cheryl, when they're trying to steal. It's a good option, too. Almost everybody has a little different angle on how to skin the cat here, how to handle this situation.
Do it. Yep, hard. Right to it. Good call. Okay.
Come deep as well.
That's good. Fighting.
I think just with the weight, it doesn't.
After the long break, the ice settles for a little while. The ice crew goes out and runs the chamois up and down a little while. We've seen this, I don't know, for 30 years.
Yeah,
right?
over and over. And even as a player, you remind yourself of it, and you still don't do it.
Yeah.
No. Top 8. Top 8. No, lots of lines, Selena.
Speed's better this time.
Getting better. Need to curl a bit.
Weight's close.
Fight the 4. Make sure. Yep. Yep.
You could read the lips, huh? Kristen McCush saying, come on, come on. So as we begin the second half, let's check the numbers after 4.
Well, the numbers, when you look at them, are close, but when I look at skins, I look very much at the turnover shots by the skip. Those shots that either score a skin or they force a carryover. And you look at Carrie Einarson, and number 1 sets up a great shot for her skin, and number 2, in-turn freeze forces a carryover, and number 4, big weight double. She's got the advantage on Tracy Fleury.
The numbers after 4 are brought to you by Rimrock Resort Hotel, above the rest.
3 out of 4 come-arounds, way deep. Shannon won't be happy with that one.
A result of what, you think?
I think it's what we talked about just earlier. They chamois the ice, it cools down for a couple, you've got that big break and that 4th end break, and no different than the Scotties or Briar. It just runs that 5-6 feet faster.
Yeah.
Talk to the ice makers too. They're not even sure whether it's the chamois that warms it up or whether it's the fact the ice sits for a while, because we all know if it sits long enough, it slows down.
Yeah, nobody seems to, because there's no body movement, there's no airflow around the ice.
It's got to be the chamois. Therefore, you should be brushing with a chamois, I think, because it's pretty effective. Pretty wide, though, on coming around the guard with that really 7-foot broom.
Gotta go. Line's great. Line's good. Hard. Hard for line. Hard for line. Go.
Not quite far enough, remembering now that Fleury needs 2, so she has 1 in position, sitting center line, top edge of the 4.
Yeah, well, we could play the double, and
But then they just draw.
But is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
I don't mind the double.
what do you
I
like?
don't mind the double.
Okay.
Yeah, both of those blue stones of Fleury's are in a really good spot. I actually really like the double here.
Yeah, and you heard the team offer up the, well, if we make the double, they can bury another one, but they've got to make it.
Right.
We've seen 3 mistakes here already.
Yeah, if there's only 1 in there, you might play that, but with both of them accessible and usable.
Whoa, Ken, it's up. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Leap's good.
Whoa. Yep. Yes.
Shannon Burchard got 1. Move it far enough. 1 more little spin, and yes, we'll move it far enough.
Okay.
And suddenly, those 2 at the back, those 2 deep stones, are possible steal stones
I like playing down
for Carrie Einarson.
Well, and what's even better about that shot of Shannon's is where she left her shooter. It's in the way, it's usable, blocks off one of the pass for Fleury's team.
Because if we make the draw, I mean, they're just like slashing in. I don't know how we're getting 2.
Don't get the perfect nose there.
Yeah, but then at least we can use it.
Nose are a little right on the nose. 10-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like it there either.
To your point, that's such a valuable rock.
But it doesn't seem you can just exchange the stones, because it'll catch, it'll jam at the back. So you're going to roll it away, are you, a little bit? You have to roll it away?
I think nose would be perfect.
Okay.
If you could just get to the nose.
There is that center line guard, too, that they have to get by. Got that to the nose, run it back. Yeah, beautiful. That had jam written all over it.
A little quiet or just soft?
Oh, great brushing to get that to hold. Well, now it's in the way and usable.
I like the speed right now. Line's good. Hey, line's good. Shannon's rock. Yeah, line. Rock curling. Line is good. Wait only. Line's good. Wait only. Top four. We're heavy. Wait only. Always Shannon. Heavy. Whoa. Back four. T-line.
Really good. Line's really nice.
Not that heavy, though, I don't think.
Back four. Back four is okay. Good. Sorry, I thought we were going to line.
Boy, it's a slick spot, that intern, isn't it?
Is it ever? But I would take that. You know, it does draw the play into the, you know, they'll come into the 4 foot. You might be able to freeze now. You're kind of shutting down that scoring area.
Top 8. Top 4. I'm good. Top 4. Bite the button. I'm good, all you. You have lots of room. Needs to curl a bit. Top 4. Needs to curl. Can you switch? Gotta go. Switch. Curl it. Biting button. Just biting button. Mine's getting good. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Go, 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 go.
Selena Negevin. And around she goes.
Okay, 15. It's not bad.
Quite enough. Shot rock still belongs to Einarson.
But yeah, now you see for Einarson, their deep stones in the back 4 foot are causing themselves issues.
We're one. We're one.
Or just because he can't get them out as easily?
Well, they're potential jam when you try to play for this blue stone up top that's a second shot.
Yeah.
It gets a little scary to try and remove it.
Try and get to the inside of that, I guess.
Inside here.
If I'm short, that's okay, probably.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you know the weight here.
So gone to plan B, try the corner freeze. They are shot stone, so this makes a little bit of sense.
It's quick here. They got to be careful not to tap that blue one in for shot.
Whoa! Shannon's right now. Off, Fran. We're just a guard if we leave it.
No, it's
you can't go for line.
Passed across the face of the blue as well. Don't want to line it up.
Not much chance of that, I don't think.
Tapping it in. Yep. Going by. Okay. Okay.
Didn't tap it far enough, so shot rock still belongs to Einarson. Center line, back 4.
5 in turn, in that case, out turn for the lefty. Heavy shots here on that in turn side.
You like the slash at all? Pardon?
Be able to get a bunch of them moving back there.
Like the slash? Or the double like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Just to get something moving back there?
Yeah, it's about half.
Kill? Okay.
Okay. Make it. Yeah.
That would allow the blue to be shot rock buried. It would be a good start to score your 2. It's probably the same. You could try to hit and roll in, Cheryl, but I don't think you'd roll buried.
Well, this seems to be, this runs pretty straight with weight down here. It actually seems to be the shot that makes the most sense. Hit it high side.
No.
Not a lick. Fight from a push. And going to stuff it. Rearranges it, exchanges the stones, and now shot rock is a little bit more exposed.
Yeah, tough break. Any more curl with that speed, and that thing's out of there, and you're buried.
Maybe you can drag it. I don't know. Yeah. It's tough for 2, so I think this is the call. 16, honestly. I don't want to.
Well, now have they impressed upon Carrie how fast it is down this spot? Yeah. This is when you want your brushers saying, we can take it a long way.
Yeah, it's pretty lightning here, Carrie. Yeah.
There it is.
Quick.
Pretty lightning there, they said.
I like it.
Top 8 right now. Top 4. Wait on 8. Line's good. Top 8. Just top 8. Wait only.
Yep, we gotta go. Hard.
Well, they're going to get into this one, aren't they, Bertrand Mayer?
Line's good.
She may have pulled the string a little bit
We're just
on
short
this.
of the house.
After seeing some of the earlier stones be heavy. And she'll leave it high.
Good carry.
Probably the best miss.
Sorry, that was a bad judge. Nice shot.
High's better than setting it up or rolling off.
You might be able to loop around there, especially with the great weight control Tracy Fleury's had.
Pushes Tracy out a little bit further, so maybe a bit more of a guess on, is this path as fast as the one they've all been throwing down?
This freeze in the
So right on T.
Yep. You got it.
You got it.
Your line's good. Let it work a little bit. The line's good.
T-line.
Top four.
Tracy Fleury needs to score 2 for the skin. $2,000.
It's really close. There it goes. Kristen, half on the key line. Right here.
Yep.
Whoa. Take a look, guys. Take a look.
Whoa.
Oh, and look. Oh, that last little bit of finish. Did you see that?
Good shot, Chase.
It's like it had eyes.
You never thought it was going to come over and grab enough.
It's really close.
That's 4 foot the size of Lake Ontario for Tracy Fleury, isn't it? Just right there every time.
Now watch. Here, you don't think it has a chance. Then the late spin and hello, right there. Wow.
All about the right weight.
And then she just plays the same shot and taps it. And
Same shot's hard. Anything with weights running over there,
Yeah.
she'd probably play off, but we can get yours in a good spot here.
yeah, even if we're light and block that, leave her this. Same,
Yeah, like
I don't really want to leave her the same shot. Because she could get shot rock, right? A second.
I think we can bite the button here.
Yeah. Yeah, we for sure can.
And then she'd have to do something else for 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, try and tuck a bit under the 5.
You ever going to run out?
I guess never ending.
I'm going to get really fancy. There's probably 3 options here. You got the double tap for number 1. You've got the same shot you just threw for number 2 for Tracy, or she's got the bullet number 3 in off her own for a possible score or 2. You can't take them all away.
We'll bury it after the rock, after the guard.
They're going right to the button, I believe, eh?
They are.
Best, best guard second shot.
It is. I think that's always happens. You pointed out all the options and many extras, but I think that always happens.
Wow.
That you can't block the ball. You can't take them all away, so get in there.
I don't think they've played more than one down here, have they, this side? Everything's played the other side.
Curling early.
And they're going to have a big struggle here. Mayer and Burchard. Not a chance. Maybe just block the path, take away one of those options. Maybe option 1 as you had it.
Yeah, that helped a bit. That's gone.
But are we trying to play like a tiny little bump, or
that side's a little heavier than this side?
Oh, extremely heavy.
or there's the tap through here.
Easier?
I just threw this.
Like, I think we can get there for second.
Yeah, you just can't. I don't think you can throw any more weight and get the
no,
curl.
like the same weight is perfect.
Okay, I think so.
Because
we
we
can
can
come
come
to
to
the
nose.
Yeah.
We had quite a bit of room. We had quite a bit of room.
Yeah.
So.
I'm Tracy Fleury. I'm trying the soft finesse shot again. It's really hard, mind you. Anything on the high side, you don't get your 2.
Same.
Can you tap it with any weight and get that much curl?
Make sure we get
I think I heard Val, and we've seen it talk about if you throw weight down this side, it runs. So I think they're just going to go. They know that too. They're going straight to the draw for their deuce.
It has to get to the nose if you're not bumping it, doesn't it? It's not easy. But obviously, you just played it. The in-off is just as hard. It's a good miss by Carrie Einarson.
I'm not sure. I thought that final finish at the end of her first stone was natural.
True.
It seemed like it grabbed more. Like it's a pretty severe curl. So will this one do the same thing?
A little less. Good.
A little less.
Gotta go wait. Okay, yep.
Front end pipe.
Mine's
McCush, pick her up right away. And no let up now.
Come on.
Have to play the little tap and be second shot.
It needs to curl. It needs hard for weight. Really curl.
All the way down. Staying right with it. Enough. And no.
Try.
So one it is, only. Means we're carrying over. When we come back, we'll play for $5,000. Well, it's almost here. Super Bowl 53 comes your way tomorrow. Brady the Patriots, Goff the Rams. Don't miss the halftime performance. Grammy Award winning Maroon 5 featuring guests Travis Scott and Big Boy. It all starts 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific on CTV. On this Saturday morning, just past 10:30 Mountain Time. This is the first of 3 games we have for you today. This is the opening women's semifinal. Tracy Fleury against Carrie Einarson as we go to the 6th. And it is Einarson now with Last Rock. She has the hammer, playing the Yellowstones, and will need to score the 2 for the skin, with the carryover is now $5,000.
Probably the least impressive end for both teams, Cheryl. A lot of draws deep. If you're going to miss it the right way. Carrie, good example at Mr. Last Shot light, which took away the best option for Tracy Fleury, and she had a really hard shot, almost made it for the deuce.
Really good.
It's good.
Nice. Hi, girl.
Not straying from her game plan as she puts up the corner. So this is the first semifinal. Semifinal number 2 on the women's side comes your way tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Jennifer Jones, of course, will be Team Canada at the Scotties in Sydney. And she's won this the last 2 times. The Skins game will play Casey Scheidegger, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Casey, the team from Lethbridge. And Scheidegger, as mentioned earlier, are cheering for Rachel Homan in Ontario.
They are.
Rachel Homan wins. Okay. Ontario, Scheidegger would get the second wild card spot to be played on the Friday night to begin the Scotties in Sydney.
14-2.
To 14-5. Looks like.
Wait, Ollie.
Top 8 right now. What's the line? Little light.
No line. Valves are off.
You don't want this one too deep. Your top 8's perfect.
Top 4. Top 4.
Valves are
Come
off.
in too deep, they freeze.
Yep. Fight the 4. Yep.
Hard is curling.
Hard.
Hard.
Go. Okay,
Nice.
that's good.
Waited as long as we could.
Good sweep, guys.
That almost helps Tracy Fleury. That's almost now you've thrown 3 centerline guards.
Room top 8. Mine's good.
Let's align right now. Let's align.
Top 4.
Not curling yet.
T-line. Mine's good.
It's not curling yet.
T-line. Back 4.
Need to finish if you can.
Kristen, if you can.
Finish if you can. Line's getting good.
No. Or T-line.
Make sure it's buried.
Back 4. Good luck.
14-1.
For sure coming down that one, hey?
Pardon? How much you got?
Rachel Homan will play Julie Tippin from Woodstock, Ontario in the final, getting the
Want to play the double?
word now. And
Or you could
I
come
remember
here and tap
Julie.
it and in.
She was in the Road to the Roar, I believe.
That's right.
Yes.
PI.
In VI. Yeah.
Yes, she was.
Road to the Roar. So
Just a straight draw or tap?
Julie just hasn't burst onto the national scene yet.
Well, they're a good team. What do you do here? Do you run the front? Do you tap? Do you freeze? You could unlock that blue-yellow combination. A lot of options here.
I thought she might open up.
Mm-hmm.
Back
Although that's not, their own stone's almost in the way of doing so.
4. 13-6, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, tap it hard, Terry.
Okay.
Okay.
Close.
Taps the shot rock
Go 4.
center line back edge of the 4.
Okay, you got it.
Remember again, now it's Einarson that needs to score the 2, playing the yellow stones.
Well, and no doubt in Tracy Fleury's mind, she comes around top 4 here behind those center guards. Can sit too, and it'll be very tough on Einarson's team to get them out.
Liz just threw it too.
Yeah, that's always helpful.
This looks heavier. Get the audible off the yellow, maybe.
Top 4.
Oh, there it comes.
Kristen at the end. Yep, go Kristen. Yep. Or T-line. Yep, it's okay, go. Good shot. Good.
And McCush will nurse it in to sit the 2.
Oh, is that choice? 14-5.
Wait. I think just tap it to here.
Can we make the double? Or
Is there any room for the double? Like if we play like hack?
You could play the double, yeah.
Let's do
You
that.
like hack?
Yeah.
Or bump?
I guess staying there is good too.
Hack? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, staying around is huge.
All 14 members this late in the end with this many rocks in play have to be very aware of the audible here. You can't, you don't want to jam this, leave it on the pin. You're better to wreck if anything.
The Einarson team needs to get a big shot. They didn't have any in the previous end. Maybe Shannon Burchard here as they play the double, trying to hold the line now. Catch it, run it by, very nice. That might change the momentum.
A board weight double. She had to throw that kind of weight to get the finish. What a great throw. Can see Val trying to get that extra curl at the end just to catch it.
And Shannon made a very similar shot last end, and to me was the whole story of the Scott Tournament Hearts last year, to be thrown into the deep end, playing sparing for the great Caitlin Laws and Jennifer Jones' team and doing as well as she did at the 3rd position. But if she was ever going to miss a shot, it was that soft finesse shot. She made 2 in a row now.
Yes.
I don't mind a little left. Okay. You like that? Yeah.
You got it.
Wait, 10?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, 10-5. Yeah, 10-5. Yep.
Sitting negative. 5, McCush. Oh boy, this took off on them. And she'll only get 1.
Oh dear. That ever ago, we haven't seen anything with weight move like that.
Might not have been quite as hard as they planned.
I think we can air to be like closer to 14.5 now. Yeah, I agree. More.
Bad timing to roll out there.
It's close. I like the weight.
It's top 8. Top 4 right now. You can wait.
Hold on. Closer
Close.
line.
Wait only. Coming down. Line is good. Wait only.
Line's
Gotta
good.
go.
All you.
Gotta go for weight. Yeah.
Whoa, you.
Whoa. Line.
Yep.
Yeah, line. Yeah, line only.
Now Mayer.
Wait.
Oh
Line
boy.
only. Yep.
Oh boy, they took a chance. They got off it.
Okay.
And it crashed on the stone top edge of the
T-line.
12.
Top 4.
All I ever heard was the weight calls. I didn't hear too much panic on the line.
I know.
Sorry, I just lost the line there.
Yeah.
But if you, I think
Do
we
you
gotta
like
make
a
the double.
10? Or a little more?
I like a little more.
9-5. Okay.
Hey, Cena. You got it.
Let's do that.
Chance to turn it right around here. You make that double roll underneath. Can turn nothing into a deuce here.
Well, you got the first mistake, I mean,
Yep. Whoa,
from Negovan, and now you turn around and you give it right back.
Same thing again.
And she stuffed it. Stuffed it.
9.
Okay.
Sorry. Wait, close?
Yeah.
I thought Selena's second was a lot harder than the first one.
I agree.
Maybe that might have been by design. I didn't hear the weight call, but
You like that?
makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It just moved hard.
don't mind.
Her first.
You like right here?
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, hard to remove this. Risky, and you're going to roll open and leave shot stone exposed. So just come down and corner freeze this. Just on the inside center line side.
Dangerous in its own right. If you ever cue it right lined up, you're not happy. And if you have it over curls, then the raise is definitely there.
Rock is running.
Your error would be shorter than tapping.
We're just top 12, top 8.
Oh, don't cue it up on line.
Go! That's good. Okay, shot.
Just.
Good analysis there.
Thanks, best.
But you're right. I think.
Yeah.
Barely.
On top.
That's not going into the broadcaster's handbook, I can tell you that.
That was from my curling days. Sorry. That was what I would say in-game.
Analyze that. It doesn't work.
In to get it to come.
What Cheryl was trying to say is it just barely at the last second curled enough, or it would have been ugly.
That was my inside voice. Oh, boy.
We're only hitting like half on the True.
Yeah. Or unless we tried to just come here
I
for
just
now.
think they have that too.
Well, but just like not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not trying to get shot, just kind of leaving it open here.
But and then they tap the 2. And then we have.
And then we have both
the
way,
6,
both in.
It's not bad.
This one might be a little bit harder.
Yeah, this one is tricky, right? For sure.
Because if we happen to kick this into the open, that's pretty bad. This one might give us more options.
Right here.
For now?
I think so. Okay. Just biting before? Barely? I think just biting.
Full 8 even?
Yeah, even full 8.
Okay.
Half open?
Yeah, this is the situation, Russ, we've talked about. A club team would always think, look at just the situation, the stones. They're playing a shot to set up a shot. And that's difficult sometimes just to understand.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially this late in the end. I know you're setting it's a setup shot with rock number 7. You can't throw too many more setup shots.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Get one chance.
Okay, full 8, biting 4 is not bad.
Okay, so I think it's similar.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
These are hard to keep open, aren't they? You're throwing it lighter than T-line, so it's going to curl a little earlier. It's easy to get onto that yellow rock in the center line, and then you can't use this rock.
Well, and we saw the Einarson stone that overcurled and actually gave them a triple center guards. They tried to keep theirs open a bit, and there was no chance.
Whoa. Weight's close. Line's good. Fully. Like the 4. Right the 4. All you. It's curling now. Really curling. Needs to finish a bit.
Can you finish?
The line's good. Yeah, you need to tuck it a bit.
Go.
Well, you want to use it too, don't you? So you don't want to tuck it too much.
Good, Trace? Yeah.
That's true. That's just perfect.
What was that?
15. Throw.
Okay. Yeah.
It's pretty straight here. Do you like right there with the 10?
But Carrie gets this if she can get to the nose of this sit right there. There's not a lot of options for... I don't know if I may have tried if I was Fleury to get right in there.
A little deeper, you mean?
Yep. Try and get shot.
Now, to your point, if Team Einarson stays there, that takes everything away in the outturn. Is this shot available? Could you get that tight enough to kick that over there and save that blue one? And then your shooter kicks in this way.
It's close. You're flirting with that top blue.
I think the blue is in the way for that particular shot. I don't think it's there. The angles aren't quite right.
But Russ, I mean, don't you think this setup shot was a little late?
Yeah.
Because if you go right in for shot.
Sure, yeah. If you went top button there, you're golden.
Yep. Hard. Up, Bell. Clean it. Yeah. Just clean.
Sweeting with a perfect line call, and they'll sit right there. So again, the situation. Einarson is sitting the 1.
Tap and freeze, yeah. That's all we have.
Needs the 2 for the skin, and it's $5,000.
As soon as we hit it, it just around there.
I think they have only one shot, and that's the one you drew up, Russ.
Yeah, or take that one away for the deuce. So you either try this one that we talked about. If you could ever sliver that guard, I don't know whether you can get that high enough to kick that way. The blue one might spill out that way, which would be a disaster. But even if you guard that situation, it's a pretty tough two. I guess that 7 rock that was just thrown, it can be tapped up.
But you'd have to be perfect on it.
You would, yeah.
You can't tap it at an angle.
No, I mean, there's just that slight, what appears to be an overlap.
But it's there.
So I think they're going to do the shot we just drew up with soft weight, Cheryl. Just get to the inside and tap yellow onto blue onto the shot rock.
Make it tougher for the deuce.
Well, this is her strength, the soft weight shots. Final stone. Here in 6.
Back 12.
Tracy Fleury. A push. Across the face and tap it up, and that's a little bit better. Still right now, Einarson has just the 1. So she's got to get at least full 4 with something.
I think maybe this
Well, makes it a little tougher for
because I think if we have
Carrie's deuce.
it could hurt us.
It could, yeah. I think it's whatever shot we know the best.
I feel like the intern looks easier to me. The intern tap.
Way easier.
That out turn, you got to hit it perfect. Nose, you can't hit it high side.
I don't know if there's enough room by the 2. Whatever shot you're seeing.
It's really the draw of the button and let that rock get in the way.
Exactly.
It's a hair heavier than draw of the button.
Easiest. Right? So with like just back 4 weight.
So we're just playing a straight tap
Straight
on
tap.
the 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Val made a great point here. Carrie was worried about hitting this yellow too thin onto the Fleury rock and leaving Fleury shot. And Val brought up the point that you can't because of that top blue one. You don't think you can get to the inside enough to do that with speed. So I think this is a low risk shot.
Seems like an easier tap.
Yeah.
Just have to hit it high.
Yeah. Just like with just back 4 weight.
Okay. This spot is a little faster, 14.8 for T-line draw.
Okay.
So
This is the same as what I took for Val's ice, so it should be close. Hey?
yeah, it finishes up okay.
Yeah, I like that ice too.
14.3-ish.
Okay. I really like the way Val is with Carrie Einarson in the house. She says, you know, whatever you see, she gives her some room, she lets her look. It would be difficult with Val being a skip to not always step up and give your opinion, but she kind of lays out a bit.
Sitting the 1 needs to somehow get another one in there for the skin, and it's $5,000.
Wait's really good.
Pritchard, hey, wait's really good, they say. Got to just touch this over. Oh, here it comes. Bounce it up. Oh, she's got it.
What a shot.
To pick up the skin, $5,000. You talk about Val Sweeting as the skip, now throwing the 3rd. That ability to call the line, that skipping ability paid off there. You bet $5,000. Game will be on the line when we come back. It's cleared a little bit. It's going to get a little colder, they say. Perfect for some shinny. Downtown Banff. Now, it's an acclaimed original series, and it's called Engraved on a Nation, and it returns to TSN with 6 new episodes that explore some of the most historic moments in Canadian and sports history. And it debuts with the Bailey Experience. Don't miss that first episode, Engraved on a Nation, Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, across the TSN network. So talking over what they should do now, as it's a $4,500 skin, and Einarson would have a chance here to clinch a spot in the final if she should put it in her pocket. Tracy Fleury with last rock, she has the hammer playing the blue stones. She'll need to score 2, or at least force a carryover to stay alive.
changes everything. Einarson has to go as hard as they possibly can for the potential steal and win this, because you've only got 2 ends to win. Whereas Fleury, even a carryover is her friend.
Yep. Pass the curl. Yep. Hard.
Should see double center guards by Carrie Einarson's team.
Right over. Go, go, go. You got it. Go, 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 go. Okay, good sweep.
Four. Top 8.
Full eight. Yeah. Got it.
Too high to be of any use, that center guard?
Well, they'll throw a second one, so they were trying to either get it tight or high.
So the next one should wrap around, so you think?
Yeah, straight in line.
That's a pretty good spot, really, and on the tape, which is the key thing.
Slowly. Gotta go. Yeah, looks like top 12. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, this could be another guard.
I don't think I'd come in here either.
Top 12.
I would stop right here.
Yeah, exactly. And they can't hit it, and you can use it.
Okay.
Oh. They heard us, I think.
They just straight through it.
Okay, that was no better analysis than mine.
That's very true.
Oh. But that's a better spot.
Yeah.
Somewhere there's a broadcast teacher going, "This is not what to do," showing this in a class.
With Vic shaking his head. Oh, this is what I'm stuck with.
There we go.
Line only. Yep. No, we can make it good. Yep. Gotta go. Right to top. Button. Hard. Gotta go. Hard. Okay.
And around they go.
Left side goal.
Freeze? Same way?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fighting 8.
Okay, so that was a 14-3.
You kind of want to get the 2 if you're Fleury, but you
That carries her
have to be so careful. You can't put the game on the line here. You could play this fairly simple and get that carryover, which gives you hammer, which most of the teams prefer, even though the stats say it's almost 50-50.
Yeah, it's hard to steal.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of steals in this game.
Really hanging.
Yeah, we're top 4 right now.
Top 4.
Okay, probably to come around.
Yeah.
Still lots of line.
Top 4. T-line.
Looks like lots.
Yeah, we're
Back 8.
Yeah, we're back 4 only.
As far as it'll go.
okay.
Okay.
Right to it.
Was that one Trey?
Okay.
That's definitely not the spot.
Line.
I think
14.
14-3.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Third down will run okay.
Really well placed freeze here. Could be a game winner.
It's close. If anything, we're down.
Shannon
Okay.
Burchard.
Yep. Line's wait only. Line's good. We're close. Whoa. T. Whoa. Line's really good.
Down. Still close.
Whoa.
And we gotta go.
Hey, yep. Line's great.
Yep, make it good.
Yep. Yep.
We're there. We're there.
Yep. Gotta go. Hard. Hard. Go. Go. Go.
Oh, he just said a well-placed freeze.
Kind of like that.
That's pretty nice.
Need to look up there.
Line's great.
She has had a stellar game.
We're there. We're there.
Yeah, gotta go. Hard. Hard.
And all shots, you know, and it seems the second position now, it used to be years ago, it was all, you know, you're the hitters there. Now it actually seems to have moved up to the third position where they open it up, and the second now has to have that touch, that down weight, the ability to freeze. You saw her play that soft board double.
Liz Fife.
Back 12.
Off then.
Line. It's a lot. Like back line.
It's really
Selena.
flying
Coming
here.
down.
Yeah.
Selena.
I wonder if you can get enough curl with that weight.
So like crack.
You gotta try.
Begovan trying to help this over.
Touch it.
Touch it.
Touch it.
And just does, but then just touches it more underneath.
What was the split on Shannon's one just there?
Just here.
Okay.
We'll ask after.
Guard after guard after guard here now. You can't have a better situation.
14, she said.
Just halfway, tight. 2. Right here.
Keep it up there.
Yep. A little light. Yep, right there. Halfway. Hard. Keep it out there right now.
Keep it out there.
Keep it out there. Try to hold the line.
Hard. Just on the upper coming.
Mayer and
Hard.
Sweeting.
Line straight. Hard. Go.
That's good. Okay. Very nice.
And you remember that blue stone you said, remember the initial stone from Bakush, and you said, leave it out there. They can't, won't be able to hit it. That's the saving grace. That's the save shot right now.
Is it ever?
This one's got to be good, though. It's a run double with backing. It's hard to get both yellows moving.
No.
Oh, she flung it, and now they have to wait. Will this touch anything on the way by? He's going to kill their own, and at least opens up the two stones.
But took their saver away. Just that's such a straight spot too, and any outward motion with that kind of weight, no chance at all for it to come back.
I think we're all guilty when you're trying to make 4 rocks move to throw it maybe a little harder than what the skip expects. You know, he probably asked for a 9, something like that, or 8.5, but it's just human nature to give it a little extra.
Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hard then. Keep it out there. Yeah, line. 1. Yep. Line's good. Just over. Over and off.
Whoa. Okay. That's fine.
Good sit. Okay. Good sit. That's not bad. Okay. No, I agree.
No, it's okay. I'm not dying. It's just me breathing hard. That's all right.
Slowing down in the middle. Because I thought. Okay, you got it.
Awkward triple. It looks like the rock on the center line, the middle one, goes right onto that corner.
It's not turning out the way she had hoped, Fleury. Here you are with your third stones, and you're desperate to try and open things up.
Yo.
Selena Negovan. Oh, she'll move 2 of them.
Yeah, I don't think that was going anywhere but there. But the worst part was leaving the blue one.
We'll probably have to try and finish it.
This is messy now.
Okay, try. Hold there or something. I don't know if
I
that
just
was
said
ever.
steals are hard, but when the other team's giving you some assistance, they become a lot easier.
Okay.
It
doesn't
finish enough, I don't think.
Well.
Like even if I'm
if you're
straight
here.
behind it, it should take the whole way. Yeah.
I think the out-turn port is there with like a back ring weight, Cheryl.
So this could take effectively.
Yeah, you've got to get this behind the blue, which takes it away, doesn't it?
But you think back to the stones now played by Fleury. First one was light, or they just stopped in front of the rings. Second one is the one at the back here. Fife missed both hers. Negovan misses the triple. So they haven't made much of it.
No, they're playing for the other team right now.
And like any other format, then the rest of the shots get the degree of difficulty goes off the charts.
So you get this as tight as you can, like a 3, and it takes away the shot you were pointing out, Russ, the out turn.
So there's the 2 zone, and there is the 3 zone. And
great weight.
Messy.
Good weight thrown. Good job.
Really only 2 more tries to give your skipper a chance. But better angle here. If you get both yellows, that one that was just thrown should come straight back.
Little less than half. Yep. Whoa. Close. No. Close.
oh,
Good.
touch everything. Very good.
Oh,
that helps.
Does it ever?
Well, you know, and to think about, you were saying about the 3 zone, the 1, 2, 3, and all the way through the man, his team came up with it. Randy Furby, there he is. Hello, Randy, 6-time Canadian, 4-time world champion. And it was his team. They wanted to simplify the game, so they started off just over the hog line. 1, 2, 3. 4 was 12. 5, 6, 7 was the lid. Then all the way back to 10 at the back of the house.
Yes, teams still use it. Some don't, some do.
Well, a lot of them do, though. You definitely should have put a patent on that one.
For draw weight. I mean, not draw weight, guard weight.
Well, you get in loud arenas, and that was the original concept, and you're yelling down back 4, and the skip's going, what? I can't hear, and it was easier to say 8 or 7.
So much more precise instead of saying it's heavy. What's heavy
Yeah,
mean?
what
Is
does
it
that
an
mean?
8? Is it a 10?
Like it.
Very nice by Celine Negerven to open things up.
We're good for sliding.
That shot gives them a chance at least.
Fleury needs to score 2. 1 for the carryover. Einarson has a chance to win it here.
Good carry.
There's a port to get through for sure because they're so
shot, Carrie.
far apart. But I think when you get through the port, you jam it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. We could
With the
never
out-turn.
overcurl that though, so I like that.
Because it over curls almost. Yeah, you're right.
I think so.
I think because then you'll also have something there.
I don't think anything through the hole, eh? Like,
Yeah. Right.
I think this gives us some more
Yeah,
options
I think
for my
so.
last one.
Yeah, let's make it.
Okay.
So
Run that yellow straight back and try and pick shot stone.
Okay.
Yeah, this over curls and jams, so you can't do that. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Because if you ever make it, you're sitting shot rock partially buried, but at least you might open things up.
The other shot I looked at, Russ, with that yellow or blue guard being so high, what about the in-turn tap?
For sure. Definitely there.
And she played that a couple ends ago.
This might give her 2 shots, 2 options on her last one where Einarson can't take them both away. But yeah, I think you're right. That in-turn come around, which Tracy's made twice.
But if you miss it, you're done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Whoa, whoa. Whoa.
Fleury.
Other way. Whoa, slow down. Other way.
Stay
Yeah.
away.
Whoa.
Angle it back, caught
Okay,
it.
that's fine.
And she's going to open it up at least again, but look at all those yellows in there.
It actually helps them a little bit. They've got now got, as Russ, you said, both directions.
Just focus right there, hey?
You've got the in-turn. They're going to have to make this almost to the top of the button to take that away.
And that's exactly what I was going to draw there, Cheryl, because you're absolutely right. If you put this up here,
Okay, guys.
this shot down here is a lot more makeable. Just go for the gusto here. There's nothing to lose. You can't give up a 2. So get it right in there.
Yeah, you angle it a little bit, center line side, top button. There's no double. The in-turn draw, as you pointed out, is almost impossible then.
Leanne was able to finish that over pretty good. Yes. Yeah. There's your last rock. So, all right. Hey, you got it.
Just tickle the top of the button or almost to the pin.
Just for weight. Stop 8. Try to go for weight a bit. You can go. Just fight the 4 on this
Carrie
line.
Einarson
Line's good.
in great position here to steal her way into tomorrow's final.
We're only tight. Whoa. Has to stop.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
Nice shot.
Let her off the hook here.
Yeah.
I think they slid
Well,
slow
they-
and had to add all the weight.
It's obvious what they need is
Like a back 4 to make sure it's there. Like we have to be there, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
I like back 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is Tracy Fleury's shot.
so you're playing a quiet tap on the shot stone. Why not just come the other way and draw, Russ?
I think it's just plain personal preference. They're both hard. They're both very difficult shots. The out turn, you really have no backing. This way you do, but optically, this one looks even harder. You overthrow this by a bit, Cheryl. I can't see it curling.
I thought I had a bigger extension.
Yeah, you definitely, there's an argument to draw the button the other way. But Tracy's played this turn a lot more herself.
Yeah, a couple ends ago.
Made it twice, right?
Yeah. The second one didn't curl up as much, but
But it would have been good enough in this situation.
Heavy draw, quiet tap, 78% so far on her draws.
Yep, good.
Needs this one desperately. Right now, the game is in the pocket of Carrie Einarson.
T-line.
Fife. Left. McCush. Right.
Kristen, you gotta try.
Negative calling line. Now try to help it over. Help it over. Get over. Keep it going. Keep it going. Now, did you move it far enough? Oh, and you just may have. Look at that. I think.
Just, I think.
That was the worry with back four. It just curled. She did not overthrow it.
Oh, so we're going to get our official Brenda Rogers to do the measuring. From that overhead, it looks like blue is shot just by that little much. Would you agree?
I agree.
Brilliant throw, though. Like they were talking back four. Back four probably doesn't make it. The team didn't panic on the brushing.
Can definitely hold it out there.
Yeah.
With that on that line.
I mean, that's what I was scared of.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
but I thought you must have been really tight.
I thought I was a little tight.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
yeah.
Brenda, long time Curling Canada official. So we'll go from the Fleury stone.
So 2.2.
No doubt. There it is. And so here we go. We'll take that money. We'll add $6,500. $11,000 at stake and the game on the line for both teams. You're fighting to keep yourself alive, but think about how messy it was prior to Negovan's stone. At least this gives the skipper a chance.
Yeah, Selena made an unbelievable, made 3 rocks move just enough to give a little bit of breathing space, and skipper made no mistake. This was a lot tougher than it looked. Any more weight, it never curls. Beautiful.
That's the one. That forces the carryover. And so here we go. To this 8th and final end. It's worth $11,000. Carrie Einarson will now have the last rock. She has the hammer playing the Yellowstones. Will need to score 2. Fleury can steal with 1. Einarson a single. And then we would go to a draw to the button for the that last winning skin.
Finish. Yep, right over. Yep, right over.
That's great.
Good shot.
Good.
15-8.
As we look at the game story, they were tied after 4, and then in that 6th, remember that Einarson quiet tap? It was probably their best played end. Everyone made their shots. Then, of course, Fleury at 7 moves it just enough to force the carry over. So here we are playing for all the money and a spot in the final here in 8. The game story brought to you by Banff Airporter.
Well, our key for Team Fleury was leave room for the skipper's draw because she's so good at it, and that's exactly what Selena did there with that wonderful shot to clean up all that shrapnel and get it out of the way. And Cheryl, would you in this case, not that Carrie Einarson can't make a great draw, she hasn't thrown as many as Fleury. Fleury's made them all. Carrie just came up a little light, albeit protecting with her last shot. Would you keep this as simple as you can and go to the carryover?
You might, because you're the team that's at the deficit. Both teams are kind of happy right now. Carrie's got the hammer. That's the advantage for Team Einarson, but I agree with you. I think that might be the call just because she hasn't played a lot of draws.
Yep.
And that's your strength when you're Fleury.
Yeah, that's the way I think you'd approach it now. Carrie made that beautiful tap for 2 coming this way on the intern side.
I'll just try and throw like close to draw weight. Yeah.
Perfect spot there.
Weight's good.
T-line, back 4. Yep.
I think we're back 8.
Back 8. Yep.
Try and just sit this on the corner.
Back 4. Hard.
It's curling early.
Might not be bad. You could play the audible and open it up.
Okay, roll it away.
They rolled it enough to open up the Fleury stone, top 4.
I don't hate that either. I actually think that they could call that shot more often in skins.
No question, or even in any method, it's so usable. Both yellows can be raised. That's your corner guard situation, and there's a bit of breathing room here for the skipper. Now it becomes a bit of a hitting contest, which Einarson might be favored.
2.5. Whoa, then. 3.
Needs to curl a bit.
It might
tight.
overcurl. Line will be fine. It might overcurl if anything.
It's a 3.
Oh, it looks really tight.
Top 12.
That's really close to being in the paint.
Kristen, stay with it. We might have to tuck it. We're top 8.
Ooh, and late movement, and you heard them say 3.
Hard.
Just in front of the house. It ends up being almost a 5.
I think they tucked it, or it curled just enough that there's no double. But it's getting scary now. Carrie's got the chance. She plays soft little hit and roll over.
Very similar to the end. They had that easy deuce, you know, where the Carrie blasted the one out and had 2 little biters on the left-hand side. Just
Control. 9-5. Clean it. Wheel up. Whoa. We're heavy. Whoa. Whoa.
Has to come up.
Come on.
It's close to rolling out here.
Whoa. Let it roll.
Oh, they're good.
Okay. Nice shot.
Really good.
I bailed on it. I thought we were
1.5, 2. You got it.
Nice shot, Shannon.
Lots of line. Wait if you can.
Lots of room.
2.5.
You're going to have to finish really hard.
2.5.
A bit wider than the previous one.
Out there.
You have to finish whenever you can. Really got to go.
2.5. Go, Kristen.
Really got to go.
Go, Kristen.
Hard, Kristen.
Yeah.
Go.
Trying to push closest to the stone, and look at it. Even last licks as that stone is dying.
That's not good. That combination was a hair lighter than they wanted and a hair wider, therefore didn't have time to curl. Here's your potential 2 right now.
I'm assuming you don't want to sit right there. Do you want to roll somewhere?
You do. Sit there, you give them the chance to roll. So try and roll. I think they're going to try and roll to the right.
Got to get a bye first.
Here it comes, the corner guard. Oh, they saved it, and now where will it stop? Oh. And it'll spin to the back edge of the 12. My goodness.
Did that rub?
No.
Oh.
Boy, didn't get by. You wouldn't want your fingers between these two, I'll tell you.
Probably 10-5, yeah. And I think when the wing is just curling.
Good brushing.
Good sweep indeed.
The
14.
Oh, that yellow sticking out top 8 is so valuable for Einarson.
Okay.
You might even go on the end on TSN here, eh? Top 8, because if you go deep enough, that angle raises there.
It's simple.
Line's a bit tight. Yep.
But even so, you're pushing Fleury's trying to steal behind almost corner guards.
This is curling too.
We haven't seen a lot to the wings.
Oh, and here it goes.
Don't want to bounce this too far.
Leave it. Okay.
Should be room this way.
Gonna have to go with the other turn, you would think, maybe, to go through the hole.
Mm-hmm. You could double peel the blues.
They sink behind our guards.
Yeah, they're only helping Fleury.
You've got your 2 now.
Yeah, exactly. Do we just draw there first? You'll have enough of that, but I think we get there first. It's pretty good, right? I don't know if we can. Either.
You ever did that? Kick those out of there. You open everything up. Then if Tracy comes into this type of area, you can either chase it or you can angle that one in. You've got a pretty simple 2.
Well, that's those guards are the only thing that Fleury can use to steal.
Mm-hmm. Nice call here. Doesn't guarantee you 2, obviously, but with that yellow raisable top 8, this is a really good play.
Well, it may not guarantee your 2, but it may guarantee you a carryover, which is much better than a steal.
Watch the yellow.
What are you going to get here? Going to kill one of your own?
Sorry.
on your own catcher.
Okay.
So you're still sitting the 2 if you're Einarson. But your rocks are wide open.
A little lucky they jammed the one yellow, jammed the second yellow, kept them both in the rings. It was like, whoops, and then you go, oh, that worked. Oh, that worked.
It's all good.
10-5.
10-5, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Only one guard now, too, for Fleury.
So touch up. Hair solid.
Selena Negavan.
Whoa!
McCook. Boy, there's some curl in that spot now, and rolling it over and underneath their own.
Very, very nice shot.
The back half of the game for Selena has been phenomenal. That is the guess in the skins format, because you play so much to the center, then all of a sudden you're guessing, is this curling, and it's late in the game when you kind of figure it out.
That out-turn hooks, doesn't it?
Cool.
Close to the center line.
We just haven't seen it.
Val Sweeting.
Close.
Now, little bit. Get that one. Avoid the jam. Spill this over. And it'll pop out, but hangs around. So the right now shot rock belongs to Fleury, so that's the steal point. But Team Einarson has 2 in position, needing the 2 for the skin in the wind.
Hit and roll off the back, yeah.
Or even knows it.
Well, no, she's got the double.
If you do that, there will be a yellow double, albeit not easy. You could split the rings, but you don't have a lot of room. If it kind of slides down here, there's an angle raise like that, and there might be a double.
You don't like the draw?
It's if you put it beside that blue one, it has to be perfect.
The way it curls with the outturn to the wings, I kind of like the draw.
If you like the draw, Trace, I'm fine.
To where?
with it.
To the back 12-foot outturn.
Oh, deep. Yeah, and the thin double. Yeah.
I don't mind the
Then
hit.
that takes the double away.
Try to roll there.
Okay, let's make it. I think we're over here because
But then are we worried she rolls on top of
If that's the case, why hit this one?
Well, if we go here,
Yeah, I
she's
agree with you. You can go T-line and use that as backing on the outturn draw.
It's 3 minutes.
Here.
Okay. Okay. 9-5 out here.
I think so, yeah. Got it?
It's the tougher of the 2 shots, I think. You know, Tracy's going to prove us wrong, I'm sure, but the way she's been drawing.
Yeah, I would have, and she tends to lean to the draw.
I don't mind it. Like, if you want to play, do you want to call time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we go, using the 160-second timeout available.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's just.
I think she's playing to her strength.
But like even here, like it jams into there, right?
True.
Like, I know I don't want to be there, but if I ever am,
I don't mind.
And then like, yeah, we leave this, but then I have the same shot and I already threw it.
That was my first.
That was my first.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You like it? Let's make it.
So you want it
Even
here,
or a little
ideally?
higher, I'd say, like biting.
Yeah. Just make sure we're out counting that one, basically.
Yeah, bite the 8, I think.
Okay.
I think so.
So if we bite the 8, she rolls here. And then.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
I mean, she's got to make it perfect.
So maybe a bit.
I think
deeper
even.
then. Even.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweep for even.
Okay.
The touch 10 on mine, hey?
You have more options with this where you put it is good. That's what they'd like. It's even. There'd be no double. But even if you slid a little deep.
Where you want it is better,
that
right?
Wouldn't be
I get
bad.
it. I get
That
it.
wouldn't be bad.
But what do you always say, Russ? When you are thinking about your shot, think about what the other team would like you to play.
Yes.
And if you go back to her first thought about playing a hit on the stone 12 foot behind the tee line, that may have been the shot that, in fact, Sweeting would have liked you to play.
Yeah, that's true.
Sweeting may not like you playing this particular shot.
Yeah. Team Einarson sitting there, play the hit. They want her to play the hit because they don't know it that well. If they ever roll out on the hit, you're probably scoring 2. So this is the one they fear, especially because who's in the hack?
Top 8, perfect. 8 to curl. Okay, wait's close.
So even them up.
Wait's close.
Sit 2 in the 8 foot.
We gotta go. High.
Up to McCush and Fife now.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Selena
You gotta go.
Negavan checking her watch.
Keep going.
Wanted to even it up a little bit more. Even them up. Oh, not quite, but they did get there. They sit the 2.
Pretty good.
Really good. Just constantly close on those draws, like really close.
Yeah, you threw a bump and just took its time.
So I think that should be good with bumper.
Yep. Got it.
Hit and roll, is that what they're doing?
Yep.
You could probably come around and tap that thing out, but it's tough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to roll buried.
Hey guys, bumper.
Yeah, that would be perfect. You just overrule a little bit.
Now you're going to carry strength.
Now you're got to hold this now because it's going on them. They got to hold it now. It is going on them.
Oh, hard on that one. Hard. Keep going.
And through it goes, and they'll spin that shot rock to the edge of the 12.
That jumped halfway down, and I'm not sure why.
Well, they were. Mayer looked up and went, "We're happy with the wing," and then it just took off.
It did. It's almost like it picked. Went over a flat spot, something.
I didn't think it would jump like that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't either.
And Val said she didn't think it would jump like that, so I'm not sure.
So it was only like an inch less ice.
So where are they going? Right around?
Yeah, right around side of the 4 foot, ideally top half of the 4 foot.
Okay.
Just kind of Christmas tree it half buried. But the danger with this one is leaving it where her first one is and set up a blue double. Not that I expect her to be 2 feet light, but that's a possibility if you threw this in a 12 foot.
Yeah, I'm sure Einarson was thinking, somebody call the police. She's stealing me to death here. There's just that ability. Put the pressure on when needed most.
Line, maybe.
Well, it's hanging out there.
We're just top 4.
Yeah, goodness.
Yeah, we're. All right, nice throw, Trace.
That's where that didn't curl.
Okay.
They're all the same.
All right.
Okay. A little more what?
Anything there to get your deuce, or you're playing for the carry?
Oh, yeah,
Carry over.
Nothing.
And thankful for it?
Well,
Yeah, I think so. They've been out curled this end. They really have. Not quite what Tracy wanted, but it's sure a great rehearsal for her next one if this is made. Don't overthrow this because the last one took off.
And we know the houses are a little bit more lively, and just got to sit right there. Stay off it, all on its own. Bang, sit down, and quickly. Oh, goodness. Maybe. One it is. Egerman looks at it. And so, here we go. We're going to carry it over. We'll have a draw to the button for the final skin and the win. Ooh, when we come back.
TSN All-Star Curling Skins Game is brought to you by Everest Funeral Concierge, by Kubota Canada, quality built, precision made, and by Meridian Manufacturing, your partners for on-farm industrial and oil field storage and handling. TSN All-Star Curling Skins Game is brought to you by the Rimrock Resort Hotel, Above the Rest, by Banff and Lake Louise Tourism, inspiring the world to experience unforgettable moments in Banff and Lake Louise, and by Revel Events, catering and events made easy.
During team practice yesterday, all the teams had their draw to the button, all the players throwing, and I think just cumulative total. Important for Jennifer Jones, obviously she's ranked #1, picks up that early bonus of $1,000, then Scheidegger, Einarson, Fleury. So Einarson, being ranked 3rd, had the option now. Do you want to throw first, or would you like Fleury to throw first? And she has elected, Einarson, to say, Fleury, you throw, we'll watch.
You and I were talking about it, which we were both probably on the same page too. Let them throw.
Yeah, because
then
if there's pressure on you going first, obviously too. Everybody says, well, you go first, put pressure on them. There's pressure, period. But if the team that goes first maybe goes back 8 or something, then you can just pick a good line that you know you don't have to put it on the pin.
You have to switch.
It's an $11,000 skin. It is the skin that will put one of these teams into the final tomorrow, where everything is doubled. Fife, McCush, trying to take it down. Keep it going. Keep it moving. Take it a little further. Take it. What have you got? You got the pin? No, you got the top edge of the button.
Pretty good. This is the only problem with going second, is when they make a really good one like that on the first one.
But you get a feel for it, too.
295.
Yep. They would have timed that.
That was thrown hard enough to be brushed vigorously earlier and make it, but they couldn't because the line wasn't quite dead on. So they did a really good job of managing the line and the speed there. Another great draw by Team Fleury. Careful when you take a split time here, because your skipper might throw less or more rotation, and that kind of throws that out the door.
You got it.
This isn't interesting, isn't it?
14.5-ish.
They've elected to have Brienne Mayer throw.
It's a great idea. Now, this will be more rotation. Brienne throws a tremendous rotation. Got to be careful here.
But why?
Makes a lot of sense because she's thrown more draws in this game.
That's her. She's in that union.
Yeah, that's smart.
Watch that rotation. I'd be careful brushing this.
Okay, riding right now. Riding a bit.
All you.
Curling now.
Who's rock?
Line's still good.
29.5, 29 and a half centimeters.
Line's fine.
Really close.
Really close.
Line's
13.
great.
Whoa,
Line's
no,
great.
looks
Really,
here.
line is good. It's the weight now. It's got to start digging in.
No.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. And that bit too far. And coming back again, Fleury will pick up the skin and advance with a $13,500 paycheck. And one more time, this rematch of last week, the Scotties final in Manitoba. And Fleury wins it again. And now this season is 4-1 against Terry Einarson. So Fleury advances now to Sunday's final. We'll have it for you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. She awaits the winner of tonight's semifinal, Jones and Scheidegger. Back with you this afternoon for the second men's semi. Kevin Cooey against Reed Carruthers. We'll have it for you 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The winner to play Brendan Botcher, coming off his win over Brad Gouju last evening. It's day 2 of a great weekend here in Banff. The TSN All-Star Curling Skins Game on Canada Sports Leader, of course, TSN.